Greetings, everyone. Thank you for being patient. We had a little bit of a technical bug there to iron out before we went live. Appreciate seeing so many in the chat from all over the country. Tell you what, as usual, everybody tell me where you're logging in from across this great country. And throughout the evening, we'll post your locations up on the screen from your YouTube, Rumble, X, and more comments. I'm Jason Dahl, and I'm here with your co-hosts Eric Clegg and NHPPA President Shawn Buckley, with special wonderful guest Teresa Buckley. For those of you joining for the first time, I'd like to highlight that there will be a Q&A portion of today's show, and that's exclusive to the live show. So this is your chance to ask questions about the action-packed month that we've just had. I'm sure you'll have many, many questions. And you can ask Shawn anything you want. With that, I'd like to throw over to Shawn for a quick little introduction, capping off this wild month we just had.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk a little more later about what happened, but it's even hard to put into words because I don't know about you, Jason, and you, Eric, but I think this charter tour changed me. I don't quite understand fully how yet, but I couldn't listen to these stories and not be changed. And I'll get into that a little later. It's just been a whirlwind. I mean, Teresa and I just got back late Thursday night, just as the freezing rain started, and then the next day it was snow, which in itself was quite incredible. But I think we'll all share a few stories tonight about what happened, but very, very thankful to have everyone. Teresa, you can come and sit. Very thankful to have everyone joining us tonight. We really appreciated the support along the way. It was just an incredible experience. And, you know, no rest. We have to launch into this campaign that we need spread far and wide because we really only have about another 6 days to create pressure on MPs for Bill 224. So let's keep going, but really thankful to have everyone. We can't do this without your support. We can't do it without your participation. And we're just really honored to have everyone, you know, who does support us walking with us. It's what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah. We've got a pretty amazing family here. And, you know, I remember a time, and I'm sure a lot of people remember a time when Mom used to say it was time to pull out the family photo album. So I thought that I would pull out the family photo album. I might have gotten something a little bit ready for tonight to remember what this incredible month, this incredible historic journey that we've gone through, which is just the start of something. But let's take a look back at what happened on this great charter tour. And Shawn and Teresa, you're the guys doing this really on the road every day. This isn't a movie. This is a PowerPoint presentation. Just jump in at any moment to elaborate on the experience that you guys had. Like that van.
Well, Shawn's very handy with vans.
Good thing you needed to be.
Well, this is one of his secret talents. He's quite mechanical. You'll see the duct tape there, right?
All in all,
the Gorilla tape.
Yes.
But the truck out front, I pulled the motor out. It's in the machine shop getting rebuilt. I do a lot of work on cars. So now, but this van, though, you know, the steering problem needed special tools, which we didn't have, and we didn't have the time. So we still need to get the steering worked on. And but it's the van itself is really quite cool. Like, you guys reacted emotionally to the van when you saw it. Everyone does.
Everyone did. Yeah.
Well, and it was such an amazing way to just open up the dialogue with people across the country. That was what was most interesting about it. Like, even if you didn't want to be talking to anyone, if you were just kind of tired, they all wanted to talk about the van. And then lead into, what's the health charter tour and what's the world's greatest health show? So it's a great way to cut the ice with many, many people across Canada.
Yeah, I think it became apparent to us a few weeks into planning that NHPPA was somehow going to have a van, and we did it.
If anyone in the Edmonton area has a place where we could park it inside a garage or Quonset or something, that would be helpful to let us know.
Oh, all right. Well, comment if you know of a location in Edmonton for such a thing. Moving on. So we get started in Victoria on the 4th. Ferry rides, broadcasting from Airbnbs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, yeah. So, but Victoria, we actually stayed with volunteers. So, which is that picture bottom middle. And is that from Val's? That's from Val's house. So
no, this was in Tsawwassen.
Oh, that was in Tsawwassen, right? Yeah.
And that's Valerie and her husband.
Forgive me if I do make any errors. I was trying to pull from about half a thousand photos here.
No, it's very good.
And the first live event at United Commons in Victoria. Yeah. Amazing guests there.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Stephen Malthouse was fantastic. And Justin from Purica.
Jason Watkins.
Jason from, pardon me.
He's just high octane.
Yeah, he brought it home. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a great energy about him. And then the first pop-up at Alder Natural Foods in Aldergrove.
Oh, yeah. So you see this, middle bottom photograph. We got the truck parked there, but we pull up, everyone's expecting the van, and all very disappointed, had a spot reserved. But was that ever a powerful event?
Yeah, really good turnout. You see him just filling out the front there.
And this is Ben. Sorry, back up there. That's Ben. He's you figure he's been in the industry for 52 years or something.
Oh, incredible. And
incredible knowledge.
And that Aldergrove Natural Foods might be the oldest standing health food store in a single location.
Right, and that is Ben.
It might be the oldest standing health food store, period.
Wow.
Inside the back of the stores, they had jars with all of the various herbs that you could just, scoop up and put in a bag.
Yeah, they're very passionate there.
Amazing. So we should find that out, use it as a stat. That is Ben Farley. Was that his last name? I believe he did an interview, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's a speaker. You can find him on.
He's a speaker. Yeah.
Yeah. You can find him on the tour page. All the speakers are now up individually. Then on to Nutter's Everyday Naturals in Kamloops.
In Kamloops, yes.
Great event.
Yeah, the speaker there was amazing.
Yeah.
She talked about resetting.
Rachel Marie. So the top middle, you see she's wearing red glasses, and I thought she was just, being retro to support us with the van. But no. So she's a former anesthetist. Was an anesthetist for 30 years and was speaking about how important it is for us to actually have natural light. And so she's wearing these glasses so that her body it has the right light to regenerate at night. It was very interesting. I'd recommend everyone watch her presentation.
Then on to Kelowna.
Oh, yeah.
JB Event Center. Health Matters. Did I have the store right here in Grand Prairie? Was that another Health Matters?
This was the Homesteader.
Homesteader.
Health.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Homesteader Health.
And what a powerful, they've got a few stores, and what a powerful group. They're so passionate.
Yeah.
So when we talked about, about the importance of local health food stores, we actually had a couple of speakers and interviews there. And when you listen to them, you feel the passion.
Yeah.
Again, these days are all being dissected. Now each day is, 14, 15 hours long. So the team here is working to dissect all these and turn these into digestible clips. Everything from Shawn's openings and the live events themselves to individual pop-up events that we filmed. Everything will be chopped up and available to watch one at a time. Right now, they're up there as full days, plus we've got the speakers broken out. We'll get there. We'll have all this content ready for you guys very soon. And the live event in Kelowna at the JP Event Center.
So that in itself was a funny story because, so you see we're in this big space, this beautiful space, but the organizer had booked a room that was way too small. Teresa and I show up and it's like, oh my gosh. And, there's no raised space, where we want to sit at chairs and have a conversation. with people that are speaking. So Teresa did her magic. A few tears, and no, she didn't. No. She didn't have to cry, but God provided this space. We didn't have to pay for the larger space.
Yeah,
amazing. Things just work out when you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
A few more shots.
Oh yeah, this is Grand Prairie. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and bottom left, that's the kid with the self-care violation, eating parsley.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
You probably don't have that video clip ready, but if you do, it's a classic from the tour.
We did, however, have a serious health security alert at the show, where this individual was seen eating flat-leaf parsley in the open. But it was quickly taken care of by notifying Health Canada of this dangerous self-care framework violation. If you see any self-care framework violations, be sure to immediately ingest a novel chemical drug and call the Health Canada Self-Care Framework hotline at the number on screen.
Well, let's talk about.
But Grand Prairie, the people up there, I'll go there again and again. They're just so welcoming and so well organized and so motivated. The big picture there is Jody, who's just a trooper. And thanks to her and her group for putting that on. It was just really, and the sponsor, Homesteader Health.
Well, and what was so nice about this event was it was truly a community coming together, and you could see from all different walks of life, whether or not they were familiar with natural health products or not, they were there to learn. And I think everyone brought a friend. I mean, it was the room was full, and they had they just had great participation, great community.
Amazing. Okay, so then we moved on to Edmonton, where Health Matters had a pop-up. That looks like an amazing chain up there.
Yeah.
Well, it was again like every single event was super, but this again was super. And then we had. So the owner of Health Matters, Kim, came in was a speaker at the later event in Edmonton also. But this was interesting because at this one we had a volunteer, Judy, show up, who's just been a special encouragement to us. And then also a couple of close personal friends that we weren't expecting to show up. So it was a shout out to Fraser and Barb. Well,
and what was really interesting is that like Fraser left knowing, I better start taking some natural health products. He's watching. I better start taking some natural health products.
And then on to Church in the Vine. This is double home ground for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's our home church. So and so top right, that's Kim and her husband from Health Matters. So Kim was the speaker, but it's also, when we get to Ottawa, the event on the hill. So our pastor team from Church in the Vine came and did the only official prayer. Yeah. But we felt it was absolutely essential on the hill to have a prayer, and we've gotten so many comments about that. It's crazy.
And this is just a very cute little girl. It was
good youth turnout there.
Well, we have to stay focused on what it is that we're doing and who we're actually doing it for. I think that's such an important point to always remember. It's nice to see the little ones there.
So on to Lloydminster. Legacy Center. Look at the flags getting filled up in each one of these slides. It's great.
So we're going to have to frame that flag because that's a piece of history. But Lloyd was interesting. And, one of the speakers there, Jan, had Crohn's disease for 30 years. So could you imagine not being able to go out for supper with your spouse for 30 years, go to your kid's hockey game, anything like that, on chemical pharmaceutical drugs to prevent flare-ups, but should still end up being hospitalized each year, and then cured by a holistic practitioner. That's why this is so important.
Yeah. On to Saskatoon, Alberta, Christ the Redeemer Church.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Oh, whoops. My bad.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't correct it in any of the slides. I'll fix that. Sorry, entire province of Saskatoon. Oh, yeah.
That's the Saskatchewan.
So see, this. Look at in the blue petition with the scribbles on it. For those people that attended all of the events, that will look very familiar. There was a little note on there, and who knows when it was sent in, but it was a little post-it note that said, "Sorry, a child got a hold of this petition." And there's like blue crayon.
Which we just loved it. So
Yeah.
We're submitting it. So.
absolutely we are. Yeah.
I
Crayon
got to
and
see
all.
that in person in Ottawa.
That'll count as an extra signature, right?
Okay. So we got to talk here. This is Derek.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Derek.
this was you know, there are no coincidences. So this was an example of God taking care of us. So we've got the van on a trailer in Saskatoon, and all day long we're working. We had to do 2 openings because we were traveling to Winnipeg early, so we had to record it. We recorded an opening for Moncton, or an event for Moncton. We recorded for Whitehorse if necessary, for Fredericton, right? We recorded for Charlottetown. And Teresa had ordered some postcards from a printer in the north end, the industrial north end of Saskatoon. We're in the south end. And we have to pick them up by 5. And so I don't know, it's about 4. We jump in the truck. We got to go to the bank to deposit some deposits from the previous events. And I get out of the truck at the bank, and I notice the van's listing, which got a flat tire on the tire beside Derek here. And it's like, I can't be towing. Like, you hit bumps, everything's moving around. I can't be towing the van with a flat tire. So we're a couple of blocks from McCall Tire. I go there and I give them the sob story. Like, we got to go to Winnipeg early tomorrow morning. Can you fix this tire? No way. They say we're maybe in November. And so it's like, can you at least put some air in it? So put some air in it, and I see we have a nail in it, or a screw actually. So we must have drove over a screw the day before in Lloydminster. And it's like, okay, we got to go pick up these postcards. So we drive up to the north end. It's about 4:30. I drop Teresa off because there's no parking in front of that building, and I pull up to the next building because, there's a lot of space with this trailer. And what the heck, how are we going to get this tire fixed? Yeah. And some random guy walks out of the next building, and he's oogling the van because everyone wants to talk about the van. So I get out,
wants to talk about
and
the
we're
van.
talking about the van, and he said, and I give him my tire woes. I don't know how I'm going to get this tire fixed. And he says, oh, well, Empire Tire is just the next block over. So Teresa comes out. We pull up in front of Empire Tire, and it's like 10 to 5. And I'm walking up to the front door, and this Derek guy, who's the owner, is standing out front. And he's just finished a conversation with somebody who walks away. So again, this is all God, because how could this happen, right? That the owner's there to give me attention just as I walk up, and I share him the problem. And he says, I can't ask my guys to stay. They're going to leave at 5. But he decides to fix it. So he has me back it up to his bay, and he fixed it right on the trailer, like old school, where you just drill a hole in where the hole is and stick the patch in. And he wouldn't even take any money. So Derek, you are a hero.
National hero.
A national hero.
He was awesome.
And once again,
you've ever seen someone do that? Like to put the plug in the old manual way? Like you have to really put your shoulder into
Yeah, it was a bit of work for him.
It was a considerable
But boy,
work.
was he ever a blessing?
Yes.
And then we weren't late for our event.
Another of many blessings this van.
And that tire has held out air ever since. So
All right. True hero. All right.
Oh, true hero.
Who's that guy?
He's a true hero.
Yeah, the only event with all this great food.
Okay, let's talk about the food.
So you tell us about that event.
Shout out to Sonny for the food. So that's medium rare caribou we had there, and that is one table of several. Should I just play the video?
Yeah.
Sure.
Don't stop. Keep dancing.
So there we go. You can see a few of the tables there with the food. Shout out to Catan from Euphoria Health Studio who hosted. And this was, we went from, I opened my big mouth at the start of the planning for this and said, well, we'll film me driving in the Jeep into Whitehorse with the charter or something. And we'll say, yeah, well, that's the Whitehorse leg, right? As soon as that was announced, the emails started flooding in to NHPPA headquarters. Where's the Whitehorse event? What are you doing for the Whitehorse event? Oh, we're so excited that Whitehorse is being included. Where's the event? And I'm like, oh my, I'm gonna have to actually do something. And we have a really nice hardcore group of people supporting us. Shout out to all of you if you're watching. They got together and quickly was able to throw things together. And the whole time I'm telling people, like, it's a small town. We haven't been putting a lot of time into this. I'll be happy with a dozen people. It's a photo op. I'll be happy with a dozen people. And I'd say we had 100 there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so for the people in Whitehorse, you watched the October 25th event on Parliament Hill, and we had Jason Dahl from Whitehorse, there to help present the petitions, third largest paper petition in history. So we think it's really fun that you were included, and we'll make a point going forward to include you. So
for a whole territory, that's the size of a province, it's got 40,000 people in it. So to be included is rare in a lot of, national events like this. So I think that's why we had such a good turnout. We have such solid people up here. So Whitehorse will continue to make a difference.
Well, we look forward to seeing those postcards.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we're on to Winnipeg from here. We've got some colorful folk here. I love that shot of the poor van.
So that van was on my butt the whole trip. It was really unnerving. It's like that wouldn't leave me,
Tailgate.
Yeah.
So followed the whole time. But Winnipeg was interesting. It was quite a big venue and standing room only. Mm-hmm. It was just incredible energy. And just a ton of people super excited to, Teresa's going to do a shout out. So we even had in Winnipeg, we had two ladies that had driven up from Miami, and they're there in the bottom photograph there in the middle.
Teresa and Sheila
had driven up from Miami. That's how passionate they were to participate in the world's greatest health tour.
Wow, it's the first time I've heard this.
And they were just like fabulous. They came and it was something about it being in Winnipeg. It was like the fatigue was definitely starting to set in for both
and
Shawn
we just made that event, like, because we were doing our calculations and we've got about the time change that happened twice. So we're
but we got it. But Teresa and Sheila were like, they came and they gave me a nice a jacket that matches there. You can kind of see I'm wearing it, and it was the exact thing that we needed.
Yeah. And then this top left photograph, that's Dr. Shawn Caesar, who's a naturopathic doctor that is an expert in treating, he can't say it, cancer and pain. And so, and he practices in a couple of provinces. I won't mention them to keep him out of trouble, but it was a super presentation, and he's so full of energy.
And I'd just like to give a shout out to the person, I can't remember his name, but it was the first time he had ever heard of the Natural Health Product Protection Association. He came out to the event because his mom dragged him out, and he was so moved and he was so touched. He wanted to come up. He said, I have to get a photo with you guys. So it was, again, just an incredible room. Thank you so much to all of the volunteers that helped out in Winnipeg.
Everywhere.
It was so amazing. Thank you.
And then the root cellar gets involved, so that this is the Red Highway starts out east
Yes, yes, it was. And that's a terrible picture of me, but anyway.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It kind of describes how we felt.
It's interesting. The root cellar was really excited about participating.
Mm-hmm.
And so I attended there virtually, but it was a live attendance and, virtually, but they had a super crowd and lots of energy. And it was really important to be also on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So,
we got all the corners going.
Just a fantastic event.
Yeah.
And where were we? We were in Drayton, Ontario.
Yeah.
That was a long drive, Winnipeg to Drayton.
And we were late starting. Sorry, guys. I mean, you can see there's a pattern. But we were late starting and we pulled
But I think it's because of technical problems.
Well, no, I think also just driving. Like, it just took a while.
Oh, right, because of all the construction.
Right. And we literally pulled up in front of our Airbnb and didn't unpack anything. We just threw him in his suit and I set up the equipment and there we taped it.
Mm-hmm.
Picture you guys just having this suit that's always just standing up. You can just jump into in the morning. To do your
Well, and the funny thing is I don't like wearing suits, but it's just, it's important to convey that we're taking you seriously and taking this issue seriously. And so I wear suits because, I want to be as best of a representative for you as I can. And so, but I definitely don't wear them when we're driving if I don't have to.
No.
So.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a news broadcast. Makes sense. Our host should look snappy.
Well, and again, this is a life and death issue, so we're going to do everything we can so that we're taken seriously on your behalf. So,
yeah. And then we have was it Marie-Lise? Was that her name?
Marie-Lise, yes.
What a firecracker!
Oh, is she ever special?
Eric, maybe you want to share about what happened with Marie-Lise.
Yeah, well, she's quite her energy, very passionate, that's for sure. She's has quite a story to tell, actually, from her story. She was sick when she was 22 or something, and I think she had cancer, was expected to not survive, and she managed to survive with using natural health products and changing her diet. So yeah, it was interesting to hear her story. I met her, we did an event at a store near where I live as well. So I met her there, and quite the passionate person. So they had good success in Quebec City and in Montreal, and they actually collected about 3,000 signatures towards the petition. So it's pretty good. It's very good, actually.
It's actually a significant percentage of the signatures, even with how many that we had.
Yeah,
and this is our early attempts to get Quebec involved
in a short amount of time.
It's so fantastic. So, I'm sure they felt like Whitehorse that they're being included now, and they're going to be a powerful voice.
Yeah, they were very excited to be. Marie-Lise was very happy to be a part of it, and hopefully we can do some more stuff with her in the future and get some more traction going in Quebec. They're very passionate here.
Shawn, you had some thoughts?
Well, so here we have Marie-Lise, who is only alive because of natural health products.
Yeah.
And adequate nutrition. Well, Chantal and Dumas, who also volunteered to interview for the World's Greatest Health Show in French. She's only alive because of natural health products. I interviewed her as a speaker in English, and it's a compelling story. And that's what this is all about, is like, I'll share later, but I mean, that's why we're all here, is this is life and death. Right? The idea that we have to fight for this stuff is crazy. But I mean, it's just touching to be working with people that understand. And, just time and time again, we're running into people that are only alive because of these products.
And also a shout out to Pierre from
Pierre Martin,
who organized the events at Avril Superstore, which is a huge health store here in Quebec, and they went all out for the NHPPA
we were able to stand up a whole group of hosts, organizers, stores, holding very quickly in Quebec, a province which, we've had limited interaction with over the years, and only a recent barge to try to get a full bilingual site up, full bilingual services, and to make this include them as well. And I'm just so excited for the future to see that huge and important province be able to actually engage in their language.
Chantal and Marie-Lise, yeah, they did a great job, all three of them.
Yeah.
We have some pretty exciting plans for the province of Quebec. So hold on tight. We're there to help and support. So
we're going to make it Bluebell.
Yeah.
The Bluebell province. And then we were on Fredericton was the leg. I don't have many photos from the event yet collated, but definitely want to include that we had these stops on the Red Highway, and events did happen down east as well.
Shawn, do you want to talk about when you taped in the parking lot?
Oh yeah, so it's funny. So no, we were live.
Sorry, live.
So, So we have to, we've got, a time scheduled for them to go live, and we're traveling. I don't even know what town we pulled into, and so we have to find. Okay, well, where's an okay spot? Well, there's this beautiful old church, big parking lot. It's empty. We figure, okay, well, let's pull into this church parking lot. And let's set up, and we're actually having technical troubles with the cell phone getting linked in, so we're a little late. Well, as soon as we get going, all of a sudden there's like a big girl guides meeting in this church, and all these cars are coming, and these people are actually quite aggressive and upset that we're in this parking lot because we're set up when we have to set up with the speaker in that, because the mics go through that into the cell phone. So and then it got dark. We pulled it off, but it's one of those stories that just, when you've got these events and you're on the road and you just have to find a spot, sometimes you win and sometimes you win less. So
it's surprisingly guerrilla. Everyone that's telling these stories, the people that are watching, that this was just, but park the truck here, get up, set up that phone and audio setup, and hopefully you get away with it. It was very guerrilla.
With this tour, I mean, because we were committing to do all these events, I mean, you get what you get. But the beauty of that is it's all very real.
Yeah.
So
and it was a great turnout. They had an amazing turnout in Fredericton and a great team.
Yeah, we're so thankful.
They had some really good questions.
The local group there that put that
again,
on.
In the future, we'll have these all cut up and ready for you guys to watch over and over again. And now we're kind of heading into further into Ontario. This was you had a new fan for that opening there.
Yeah,
nice dog. Yeah.
And into Collingwood's event.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool event. We had Dr. Meg DeHavis show up. We had Rodney Palmer show up. We had Michael Schmidt show up.
Michael Schmidt's in the background wearing
the
chapeau.
People from Ontario will know. Yeah, so bottom left, Michael Schmidt, he's kind of I would say, world hero champion of raw milk, and walks the walk. He's, paid the price. So, and was also one of the organizers of the Farmers Peace Corps that stood up the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. It was kind of the precursor to the ostriches. They took a flock of heritage Shropshire sheep that were slated to be destroyed the night before the CHFA, or Canadian Food Inspection Agency, showed up to kill them. And the sheep were on the lam for quite some time before they were caught and slaughtered. They're now going to become extinct. Another example of completely needless slaughter of animals by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And his reward, because no good deed goes unpunished, was to be charged criminally. And I had the honor of representing him in criminal court.
Oh, amazing! So you guys got to reconnect there. Incredible. Collingwood sounds like an all-star festival.
This is Tom Zog.
Oh, right. Okay.
So this is really
so
important.
This is another God story. Okay. So do you see the big photograph with Teresa and I, and in the middle of us is Tom Zog. So we're actually, where are we before Collingwood? We're in Sault Ste. Marie?
Yes.
So we've done this punishing drive
Terrible.
from
Challenging.
from Drayton to Sault Ste. Marie, because a couple of reasons. It's like, I think Google says it's a 13-hour drive under good conditions, but it seemed that there were about 6,000 miles of highway that had no lines on it, that had freshly been paved and no lines. Thankfully, it was pouring rain and pitch black. And the wind was just not just moving us around, it was moving the semis around.
Moving the semis.
So we're pulling the trailer with the van. We're getting thrown around like a rag doll. You can't see the road. It's pouring rain. I don't know, probably took us about 14 and a half hours. We get into Sault Ste. Marie at our Airbnb, and the Airbnb that we have booked for the next day in Collingwood has messaged us to say the sewer just backed up. So now Teresa's having to find another Airbnb, comes across, Tom and Lynn Zog.
Yeah.
Now that one hadn't been available before when Teresa was looking. So we both knew that God wanted us at that Airbnb, but we didn't know why. We didn't know why. So it turns out they live on this acreage in this beautiful, nice house, and we're renting the entire walkout bottom, and we're there for 2 nights. And we just think, well, maybe God's just given us a super nice place. Also, it was low EMF. Super nice place to kind of catch up, do an event and catch up.
Yeah.
But we learn, actually, as we're leaving, no, there was a completely different thing. So, True Hope Nutritional Support. We've got Dr. Bonnie Kaplan as a speaker at the health show. We've got Tony Stefan as a speaker at the health show. We've got True Hope sponsoring the event at Collingwood.
In fact, Collingwood. The other picture, the guy with the black baseball cap, was speaking.
Right, was a speaker about True Hope.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Zog, it turns out, in Collingwood, Ontario, had been living in rural Alberta and was one of the persons that got True Hope off the ground. And actually was, as we speak, he was involved at that very moment that we're there in working with Dr. Popper and Dr. Kaplan in getting research done using micronutrients, including Empower Plus, to reverse Alzheimer's. So he ended up being an ad hoc speaker. We taped him about the research that's already been done. But I go downstairs because we're traveling with big jugs of Monashee because, we, like everyone else on this call, fluoride is a neurotoxin. And so we travel with water, but we're running low and he's got well water. So I'm filling up. And when I'm down there, I'm told, just the Holy Spirit, tell him that DMSO is a cofactor for their research. So anyway, we learned why we were there. And so that's pretty cool. Thanks for bringing that up.
And Tom just kept saying, I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
Because how can it be? We'll end up in an Airbnb with people that know the people we know and we're working with.
By this time, it was like, no, you don't understand. God's got this. It's like...
There's a bit of a burden and responsibility to going in and watching all these speaker interviews and watching these shows. There's the information in there is so good, so true, so evidence-backed, so convincing. In between starting this tour to now, I've completely, I got off Starlink and I'm on a router that I control now. I turn off my Wi-Fi whenever I want. I've run Ethernet cables all through my house. I'm getting on the low EMF bandwagon as well, because the data it's inarguable, and you can see that by watching Magda Havas's interview and who's her colleague?
Bob Connolly.
Bob Connolly, just outstanding. A, how devastating the evidence is that this stuff can't be good for us. B, how easy it is to get rid of it, at least in your home. So I can't recommend enough that everyone gets caught up on these speaker interviews. Let's move on where the family photo night is going to take forever. We got to move on into Barrie, Ontario, at Liberty North, and on to the live event. That was it Barrie was the surprise bestseller, I believe, of the entire tour. I'll have to back that up.
Oh, you mean for the broadcast?
For ticket sales.
Oh, for ticket sales. Okay.
Yeah. Ontario,
yeah,
and Vancouver battled each other a bit, but
so a shout out to National Nutrition that sponsored that event, and Darren and his crew. It was just extremely welcoming, and it was a super night, and the speakers were just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another, so that's we had I forget the name of the lady here that's speaking, but she's also works at National Nutrition. And again, you just understand when you see these speakers that this is a store that's absolutely passionate about helping people. They've got more than one location, but
they're so trained.
It's kind of honoring when you run into these stores where it'd be way cheaper for them not to do this, but they're there to help people, and their staff are just outstanding. It's when you watch, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So thank you, National Nutrition, for sponsoring and helping and putting that on.
Then we squeezed in a Montreal event on the 23rd as Mary Lees was making her way closer to Ottawa. And then we got a very special day. This is the last day as we finally arrive in Ottawa. Eric gets here from Montreal. I get here from Whitehorse. Shawn and Teresa get here. And we get in early to do the press conference. And it was quite the day. So we were on CPAC for the press conference. For anyone that is curious, I'm going to put the QR code up now. You can head to our media page right now and watch this full CPAC press conference. It's leading on our media links right now. Don't miss it. A really powerful moment. And
share it. So, it's already like one person shared it and got a couple 100,000 views. It's compelling, especially the ending talking about censorship. So, it's something you can share to get the message out.
And it turns out we had such good timing that the House of Commons was getting out just as we were leaving with Blair Calkins. Blair Calkins, you guys should all know and will know if you don't, as the sponsor of Bill 368 that made it all the way to committee last year due to your efforts writing letters. That got killed, unfortunately, with the proroguing of Parliament. But that same bill is back as Bill C-224, and we'll discuss that further tonight.
So, and just so the top right photograph, so NHPPA Eric Clegg, should be appointed. He's in the Speaker chair of the House of Commons, and we're thinking even though he's not elected, he should be appointed as the new Speaker.
Yes.
We think that Parliament would run much more effectively.
He looks so comfy.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, there we go.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah.
So we got this impromptu tour of the House of Commons.
Just a note, Jason, it's Blaine Calkins, right? You said
Did I say
Blair.
Blair?
Blaine.
Did I say Blair?
I think you did, yeah.
All right. Thank you for correcting me. I'm Mr. Typo Man today. But that was an amazing event. I lived in Ottawa for almost 30 years and had been into the House of Parliament many times, but never gotten a tour through the House of Commons, and certainly not one with a sitting MP and all the inside info that went along with that. It's very cool.
Yeah, that was
and
something.
we moved off to slightly after that to the handoff of the petitions to Blaine Calkins as well on the Hill. And so many people turned out. We had the hardcore sign holders up. Those guys were... This guy here, he had his arms up for an hour and a half. I don't know how he does it. He's older than me. He's got his arms up. My back would break.
They actually let the van on the Hill, which just doesn't happen. So, our organizer, Christine McPherson, what a trooper.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Christine, and your crew for doing this and, and persevering in getting the van on the Hill. It was pretty cool.
That was amazing. And then on to the live event.
At Bikers Church.
So Bikers Church, it was the live event that evening. And what an experience that was. What a unique church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So thank you, Bikers Church, for hosting us, and the pastor team, Rob and Melissa, were just so gracious, and what a pleasure to get to meet them. And this church had been instrumental. They were showing us the kitchen that was used to feed the truckers during the convoy, and just the entire event. They were so welcoming, and it was just really special to get to know them.
They do incredible outreach within the community right now. Their community is really suffering. And they have a free store every week where they let people come in and take whatever clothing they may need, as well as food supplies as well. They're an absolute essential part of ensuring that Ottawa keeps the strings together.
Yes, and of course, no good deed goes unpunished. So Ottawa has tried breaking the zoning regulations to take away their parking, to shut them down for any reason that they can find fit. Classic. And we stayed overnight, so we went into Sunday service at the Bikers Church. I had to include the big picture because this blew me away. What's the last church you were in with a pool hall in it? This is truly a Bikers Church, and their main service is Thursday nights, because that's what, when they started, worked out best for bikers, better than Sunday morning when they were all hungover and getting over their drug habits or whatever they had. Thursday nights were always their services. They do a Sunday one now as well for the normies like Eric.
And it was the first time Eric's ever been called a normie.
There you go.
I think so, yeah.
That's funny.
Usually on the edge, but there I was a normie, yeah.
It was a great moving service. They were such wonderful hosts. And that's it for this slideshow. There'll be many more, I think.
Great slideshow. Good job, Jason.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without the amazing content, that's for sure. So thank you. So wonderful to have both of you here to talk us through that. It was one thing to watch you guys go through that at a distance. It's another thing to really learn about what it takes to do that. And we in Canada thank you all for that. We're going to keep the show moving along because that was a big time burn. I knew it would be. So we're going to try to keep things a little brisk as we go forward. We're going to catch up on social media happenings during this crazy month. The NHPPA show has been gone for 2 months because we're a little bit too busy to broadcast it. So Eric, if you'll get us caught up, we'll go into the...
So, yeah, is there anything to talk about? I mean, well, we had tons and tons of interaction on social media over the last 2 months. Top Facebook post had about 80,000 views, 2,500 likes, 200 comments. So pretty good. I have a sampling of some of the comments here. Trish says, "Thank you, Shawn, for all you've done to expose the reality of Canada Health's true motive pushed upon Canadians. Please continue to bring awareness so we can choose our own natural health products, as opposed to government or health authorities mandating or coercing our choices." There's just so many comments here. I'm going to have to flip through them a bit so we can save a bit of time. But James says, "I'd be dead right now without products from our local health stores, our doctors, our gaslighting," and then you can add in your own expletive there. We also had comments from naturopaths, other industry people like Kaylee said, "Thank you so much from the naturopathic medical community." And Maggie says, "Many, many, many, many thank yous. I work in the vitamin industry and I know firsthand how supplements help thousands of people. Praying for your team. Thank you again and God bless." So the comments we received were overwhelmingly positive. Lynn says, "So powerful. I see Archangel Michael hovering over you, Shawn." And the word superheroes came up quite often. Jean says, "Shawn is a Canadian hero." Cue that video, Jason. So there you go.
We have a creative bunch, and that's just too fun.
That's good.
But let's not, it's really touching that people say stuff like that, but we really are all in this together. And like, I don't know, Jason and Eric, did you guys get any sleep for 2 months? Because there was so much pressure on you to get things done. And just so many others. So
Sherry,
yeah,
and,
so that's
and David.
That's all. Oh yeah, Sharon, David, the AV team. My gosh, I don't think they've slept for 2 months either. And it's just an honor.
Team, everybody in the office. It was all last minute stuff with huge things that had to get done last minute, or it was all going to be broken. Everything was standing on the head of a pin sometimes, and you're right. It takes everyone to do it.
Yeah. So I just. So those are super kind words, and thank you, but they apply to the whole team, and I'm just,
and all the volunteers across the country.
Yeah, like
all of the teams.
That's the thing is I think we're all just honored to work with each other and work with you, and so thank you for those kind words. They're for all of us.
It was long days, but very valuable days. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So the word superheroes came up, as I said. Also, Shawn and Teresa were also called rock stars. So it must have been the hippie tour van that gave it away.
I thought this video was erased. I didn't want people to know how good we were at this.
Yeah. So Wendy says, thank you. You and your wife are rock stars. Another rock star comment. So we had lots of questions actually about the petition, which is something to talk about. Leslie says, I'm in Toronto and I didn't learn about the petition until last week or this week. So I've collected signatures for your petition. I'm trying to get them to you. Please tell me how I can get this petition to you. And Leanne says, where can I sign? Kimberly says, how do we sign?
Okay. So let's just deal with these questions.
Exactly,
so first of all, when you print off a petition from our site or from the Charter of Health Freedom site, you will notice at the bottom it says, please mail to this address, which is a P.O. box in St. Albert. And so just follow this instructions and mail them. So we've told MP Blaine Calkins, because there was a mail strike and, that we've got a backlog with petitions, so it's not too late to send them in. It's not too late to print them out and get more signatures. And guess what? If we enter them, we can enter a second batch. So, we want to encourage everyone to keep collecting petition signatures. And we'll enter a second batch and a third batch. With your help, together we have made history here. And, if you haven't watched the tour, start on day one and just follow it, you'll understand what we're talking about. This has been life-changing. And, but please no petition will be wasted. Just mail them to us and we will get them to you. Now, the person that's been volunteering for 3 years, St. Albert's right beside Edmonton. The person that's been volunteering to pick up our mail and, deal with it, including get the petitions to the person that counts them, that person is going to be retiring by the end of the year, which is like a month and a half. So if you are in the Edmonton area and you are willing to pick up our mail, which is a little bit of work because things need to be sorted out and stuff like that, please contact us because we sadly have to find somebody. And Lucy, my gosh, thank you so much for all the help you have been. It's just we haven't had to worry about it, and you've just been tirelessly, doing this, and we're so thankful. We're just so thankful for you. So,
okay, so to sum it up, there's no end to the petition. If you've got one and you're filling up with signatures, send it in. There's no deadline. It's going to go on as long as we need it to.
Yep, we had a few other little comments that were slightly sarcastic or cynical. Fabulous Shawn, says Elaine. All of Canada should be thanking you, except Big Pharma. They won't be. Brent says they should take it to the UN, as that seems to be who's running Canada these days. Karen says the saddest thing is this shouldn't even be needed, which is true. We shouldn't even need it, but we do. And we had a few negative comments that maybe, Shawn, you can comment on later on. Jeannie says, petitions are a sign that we do not live in a land where we have rights or freedoms. Nothing like signing a paper that government will ignore that has us begging for the freedom to make our own choices. Ernie says, as long as each and every natural health product goes through the same requirements as other health products, there shouldn't be a problem. Sadly, the vitamins and supplements are just part of a grift. So I don't know. I have a feeling that the business would take exception to that comment. I mean, if you watch the world's greatest house show, you'll hear directly from citizens, practitioners, manufacturers, how they genuinely want to help people. They're not in it just to make a bunch of cash. That's the way I see it. The pharmaceutical industry's practice of just masking symptoms seems a bit more of a grift to me. So Karen says, I want to see that charter that the citizens drafted before it affects me. The word charter just freaks me out, knowing what the Charter of Rights and Freedoms did to us. So the good thing is, Karen, the complete charter is available for you to download and read at charterofhealthfreedom.org. You can download your own copy and read the whole thing.
It's a light read too.
Yeah,
it's simple.
Yeah, there's the short version is very light. The other one's a bit more in depth, but
right.
Cheryl Lee says, someone show me where petitions have ever made a difference. I found a whole bunch of examples, a few of them. Petition for a Canadian Bill of Rights, 1949. That was organized by civil liberties advocates, gathered 625,000 signatures, and that that pressured the Prime Minister, Louis Saint Laurent, to introduce the Canadian Bill of Rights in 1950.
25,000?
625,000.
Oh, that's the largest. That's the largest
one. So that one made a difference. There's also the Petition Against Online Harms Act in 2024, which actually made a big difference. And it was, unfortunately, it collapsed due to prorogation in 2025, January. So that was prevented some censorship expansions, although it seems we're in that fight again. And that's why we need the Charter of Health Freedoms to be written into law, so we don't have to keep changing it depending on who's in government, right? Just put it into law, and then that'll be that. So there's a few other comments. I could go through a few more.
I think we actually hit some of them. Eileen was worried about the press conference speech, and we have answered that.
Right.
You can find that now at the media page.
Yeah, press conference.
Look at the top.
Is there.
NHPPA.org/media, and you can watch it right on CPAC.
Brenda also says, I'm disappointed that I missed this rolling through my town. Where can I hear the messages, etc.? And like Jason mentioned earlier, we have everything on our website, NHPPA.org. And very easy to find everything now. We have the interviews, we have the full days, which we'll be chopping up into segments. And regularly on social media, we'll be posting clips from the different interviews. So make sure you follow us, NHPPA.org. Follow us on social media as well. And Michelle comments on Teresa's great phrase of tell people to tell people. Michelle says, exactly. We need it to be like the old commercial. I told two people, they told two people, and they told two people, and so on, and so on, and so on. So I think that says it all. We need to continue to tell people and get people involved. What's more important than our health? Can't think of anything. Back to you, Jason.
Thank you. So socials have been
Rick.
Popping. Yeah, great job. And what that will lead nicely into a quick numbers update for your monthly campaign update. Whew. All right. I had to do a lot of sharing and stuff to get that ready. And I just made it under the wire. So I'm going to keep this quick and simple. We've still got to have Buckley Unfiltered and maybe take a few questions at the end. It's a long show. I know that big sentimental slideshow ate up so much time. Some very quick numbers as a result of the campaign over the last month. We sold 1,100 tickets on Eventbrite. And
Now, when you say sold, we didn't charge anything.
That's right. Yeah, for the price of free, we sold 1,100 tickets, and we were regularly seeing anything from a minimum of 50% to 80% above that in walk-in attendance. So 2,000 Canadian souls at least showed up to these shows, in person, live. 388,054 is the number of views that we had on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X for this month, which is absolutely astounding. To looking at the analytics charts that we have to watch because that's our job. You just get to October and it's just a ski jump going straight up. Thank you very much for watching, and we're only going to grow from there. And 156,000 petition signatures and rising. And as we know from just looking at our chat tonight, we've got a few pieces of paper still waiting to get sent in, so that number is
and we've got a big package that we collected along the way, including from Marie Lise. So
so we're over 160 easy.
We may be. It'll be interesting to see. So please mail the ones in that you haven't yet.
Yeah, the final count.
Cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Very cool to see the final count. Yeah. And that's it. I wanted to keep the numbers short tonight because I know it's going to be a thick show. So we're going to move on to have a word from Sean Buckley. Oh, I'm not the speaker. Sean's the speaker.
Oh, you can jump in, and I actually
Jason Unfiltered. Yeah,
I actually think that, like I mentioned at the beginning, that for me, I'm not even sure what happened, and I'm not sure how to digest everything that occurred. I've shared. I'm not going to share the story, but I mean, it was back in probably 1996, 1997 when I acted for Jim Strauss. And I came to understand that this is life and death, like Health Canada was trying to shut him down. And this was literally life and death. And I mean, I acted for True Hope nutritional support, and the court found as a fact that, acquitted them on the defense of legal necessity, actually finding in the oral judgment that more people would have died if they had listened to Health Canada. Like, I understood this was life and death. And I mean, it's why I've been doing this, is I understand that it's life and death. It's, being disabled versus being healthy. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't personally ready. I didn't truly understand how, how meaningful this is. And so we're having, we're doing these pre-interviews because Teresa and I were going to be on the road most days. Mm-hmm. We came to understand we had to pre-record most of the speakers. So, it was a combination of live and pre-records. So, and Jason and Eric will tell you, I mean, we were like 13, 14-hour days to get enough pre-record that we could actually pull this off. Like it was a long month. Well, every story has a happy ending. And yet, just before the tour starting, I'm having moral distress. I'm struggling. Mm-hmm. Because before the happy ending is a whole bunch of suffering, and there's a whole bunch of despair, and there's a whole bunch of hopelessness. And so you're having to deal with that emotion. And then worse, I'm coming to the realization, but there's a whole bunch of people that don't know. They're still locked in that because of this censorship. I mean, I'd already shared with you the story of on this call, the story of Jan, who shared in Lloydminster, who had been suffering with Crohn's for 30 years. And I already said, can you imagine not going out for supper with your spouse for 30 years, not going to any of your kids' hockey games or sporting events? Like, you're basically completely disabled. And plus she'd be hospitalized pretty well yearly or every other year, despite being on chemical drugs for 30 years. And she finds complete hope, just sticking to Crohn's. We have Gail West in Winnipeg. same thing, except, they did the surgery and removed part of her bowel, and like she shares the trauma of that, but again, like she couldn't go out for supper with a spouse. She basically couldn't do anything, and she gets complete healing like Jan did when she left the medical system and found a qualified natural practitioner. Mm-hmm. Well, the one that, has haunted me, I keep talking about it, is Karen Peters. And I keep talking about it because what we're doing is so awful. And I didn't understand how deep this goes. So Karen Peters spoke at the Grand Prairie event, and she's diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And her doctor shares with her, there is no cure. So this is terminal. It's going to get progressively worse. You're going to end up in a wheelchair. It's going to end up killing you. We will try and slow the symptoms with chemical drugs. And one of the chemical drugs he puts her on is methotrexate, which is a chemotherapy drug. So she shares with us, and you can, we'll get her video up if it's not already up. She shares with us that basically she is getting injected weekly with this chemotherapy drug. And for 3 or 4 days each week, she basically wishes she was dead. She's suffering so much. She's still in pain from the rheumatoid arthritis. She's still facing a wheelchair and death. And she's basically facing a lifetime of hell, being injected with chemotherapy drug weekly for the rest of her life. That's what she's facing. And I didn't understand until she shared. I've now since looked into it. This is common. We are putting people with rheumatoid arthritis on chemotherapy drugs as part of the regular treatment. This is wrong. This is ethically wrong. This is a blood stain on us as a country. So after a year of this, a friend says, "Oh, well, you got to go see a naturopath." And she shares with us, no, they're not trained like the medical doctors. This is the brainwashing that we have. Yeah. When you watch the health show, you see the naturopathic doctors are more trained than the medical doctors. But in any event, she finds a naturopath who had been a medical doctor first. And that gave this naturopathic doctor enough credibility for her. So she goes to see this naturopath. And the first thing she says is, "I have an incurable illness." And the first thing the naturopathic doctor says back is, "Well, there are no incurable illnesses." And then he cures her with nutrition and natural remedies. And she's not on chemotherapy drugs or any other drugs. She's not in pain. She's not facing a wheelchair. She's not facing death. And the naturopathic doctor shared with her, if you had stayed on methotrexate, you'll get cancer. Well, now I'm sharing this story on the Hill. Jason, you were there. Eric, you were there. I'm sharing this story on the Hill on October 25th when we're handing over the petitions. And afterwards, a lady named Nelda comes up to me and she's in tears. She's weeping. And she says, "You just shared my story." Right down to I had rheumatoid arthritis. They put me on methotrexate, except I got cancer and they took my breasts. So what happened with this health show? I'll tell you what happened for me is I came to understand that we're literally torturing people in our medical system. Since somebody came up to me, I haven't verified it, that we're putting depressed youth on chemotherapy drugs. So how many people in Canada with rheumatoid arthritis are we injecting weekly with chemotherapy drugs? Like, is it 10,000? Is it 50,000? Is it 150,000? Like, one's too much. And unless we get the word out that they're just facing hell on earth until we kill them with the chemical drugs. And then, I've been sharing, because we had as a speaker Professor Alan Castles from University of Victoria, who shared as a speaker, third leading cause of death is chemical pharmaceutical drugs. And I've just been repeating that. I followed up with him since, and he put, he's got me on to Professor Goetz from Copenhagen University, who would say, no, actually the third leading cause of death is just the psychiatric drugs, the antidepressants, but the leading cause of death are the chemical drugs themselves as a class. I don't know what to do with all of this. So what's happened to me is I've had to come to understand that our medical system is causing so much pain and suffering. And, you know, this Health Canada censorship is enabling this to go on. And I don't know what to do with it. I'm still digesting it. I'd like to actually ask each of you, so, you know, Jason, Eric, and Teresa, what's changed for you? Because you've had to participate in watching these stories because, you know, Jason of the video editing and Eric because of putting up on the website and also participating in the French, you know, taping, and then, you know, and all of you watching the online events. So, you know, how have you been affected?
It's been mind-boggling. So, I'm like you said, I've got to put my face into this stuff and edit it and put it together and organize it. And I'm very similar to you, I think, in my reaction. I've always known what we're up against and why we're doing this, but to get these stories, the infuriation that I've felt, the frustration that I've felt, it's taken on a different tone, I think, since seeing all these speakers. How about you, Eric?
Yeah, well, I've been watching clips of it, little clips. I haven't been watching whole episodes, but there's quite a few that really grabbed me. The Connolly one that you had mentioned earlier about the Wi-Fi and all the stuff that's going in the air, that's probably going to affect us all. And then there was quite a few others that really grabbed me. So I'm looking forward to going through it all. And as I'm doing all the clipping, well, I'm going to probably have more to say about it after, but very shocking.
Really seeing that it's a huge, long pattern. And then 2 days ago, Health Canada announced that we're getting cloned meat without testing, without packaging. We won't know if it's cloned or not. That's fine. Nothing to see there. Yeah. But, you know, you want the eucalyptus oil for your bath. Well, you know, that's going to be $5 million a day fines, blah, blah, blah. We have to get this fixed. We have to get this done.
So the Charter of Health Freedom is the answer.
Yep. Bill C-224. In the meantime, Health Charter in the long run.
But I'll ask Teresa if you'll share with us what happened to you during the tour.
So I feel as if I'm very new to, even though we're married, I feel like I'm very new to understanding a little bit of a larger picture. And certainly with natural health products, I think for the first, 50 or 48 years of my life, I just did my thing and did my work and paid my bills and went on my holidays and bought my purses and got my hair done. And I just lived. And I think now, looking back, I always thought in my mind that I was supposed to get sick and then die. That was my lot in life. That's how we lived life. We just eventually got sick and died. What I'm in the process of understanding is the word sickness is actually not how we're supposed to live. That component perhaps is a little bit more manufactured by outside sources. And I'm really surprised how I always thought I was just supposed to get sick and die. And now what I'm thinking of is maybe I can live and be healthy. And then when my time comes, then, I go to the good Lord if I'm lucky enough. So that definitely shifted. The other component is going from coast to coast, having the interaction of the East Coast and then from the Whitehorse, Canadians are really suffering. We're sick as a nation. And why is it that we don't have the ability to know that there's options to help us feel better? I mean, even myself, I've just discovered magnesium cream, magnesium gel. It's like I've got a sore back because we're like driving in the truck forever. It's like put some magnesium gel on. It's like, wow, it actually feels good. So I realize now that there's so much I don't know, and I have to really look at the assumptions that I've made over my lifetime, and I have to start to question.
Yeah. So I think I'll sum up, like, you have to watch the show. It'll change you. You're not going to feel good about things. But I think it's essential for us to move up to a different level of understanding. And I didn't understand how deep the suffering was. And now I feel a deeper responsibility to try and we got to do something. And, I'm going to ask Teresa at the end to share about this. She was told we have to tell people and her to get you to understand that. But we're a little long in the tooth in this show. So I want to share about Bill 224 and this urgent campaign that we have happening right now. So it's bad enough that we're talking about essential nutrients. Most natural health products are just essential nutrients that we need to be healthy. So it's bad enough that our law is we have to get Health Canada permission because we're classed as a drug to be able to provide nutrients. And it's bad enough that it's illegal to actually sell you nutrients in the amounts that you actually need to be healthy. Health Canada will shut you down. So hopefully you're getting some advice to say, ignore the label. You actually need this amount to, even have a chance of being healthy and getting what you need. That's bad enough. In the 2023 budget, the federal government moved us into basically the same category as our leading cause of death, the prescription drugs. It's called the therapeutic product category. And they snuck us into the budget because they had tried before in just standalone bills where we would have time to react, amendments to the Food and Drug Act. And we created you created such a political uproar, the government's backed down a couple of times. So they snuck this in and bang, all of a sudden we're here. Well, now we've gone from $5,000 a day fines to $5 million, or $5,000 per offense fines to $5 million a day. Anyone can just be absolutely squashed. So, a health food store for sharing truthful health information, a naturopathic doctor for truthfully advertising that intravenous vitamin C helps with cancer. All people are starting to self-censor. We just had a raid on a naturopathic clinic in Kelowna this week that dared to be doing what Canadians want, and that's providing ivermectin for human use. Well, they're going to be just slaughtered and hammered, even though ivermectin should be classed just as a natural health product, not a therapeutic product. So Bill 224 moves us back to the way we were before the 2023 budget, before this subterfuge, and it's absolutely essential that we do that. So we've got on our website, you go to the homepage, top of the page, clicks to a page where you can take action. So we've got an e-letter for you to send your MP. You put in your postal code. Please make the RE line personal. Change it. Because if they're getting a whole bunch of the same RE lines, they're not going to read your letter. And also feel free to personalize the letter. Make it yours. But if you don't want to do that, at least change the RE line, send the letter. Do this daily. We've got different letters that will just randomly go through. And there's something about volume. Print them out. Like our system will then allow you to print it out. Fax it. Like save the PDF and fax it. But print it out, print out an envelope. It's just, the House of Commons address. You don't need any postage, but the printed letter is worth like 5,000 e-letters because it's a piece of paper in their hand that sits on their desk. Print out one for our system sends it to the PM and all the party leaders. Send one to each one of them. Do it like 15 minutes a day. You could, for a week, you could be sending out 50 letters. This makes a difference. Call your MP. It's all there on the site. But second reading is actually in 5 days, November 17th. So, we're a little behind the 8 ball because we were doing this health charter tour. It would have been great if we had launched this campaign a couple of weeks ago, but we couldn't. We were involved in this other important project. So, but because now we're tight, please do it and keep doing it and keep doing it and get your network to do it. And I'm just going to ask Teresa, she actually got told how we break this out of the box, and I'll have her sharing about telling people to tell people. And then I'm just going to thank you for being on this call and participating. I know we're running a little long, but my gosh, what's been happening is so important.
So before the tour started, I was really struggling with how to get the word out, and helping Jason and Eric with the communications. And it really came down heavy on me. How do we get out of the echo chamber? How do we break through, and what more can I do, or what should I do, and what actions can I take? And I realized that with my struggle that there was just a real logjam, that what difference can I make, right, with just myself? And I was woken up at about 3:30 in the morning by a really good friend who lives upstairs. And I was basically told to just stop complicating things, because this is how we go through our life, and we fixate, and sometimes fixating actually paralyzes us to do action. I said, it's not that complicated. All you have to do is you just have to tell people to tell people. But it's in that instruction to actually tell them to tell someone else is the key. Because we can no longer just have our conversations and share our content and share the information that we're hearing tonight within our safe circles, the people that we know that maybe we won't get much pushback. That's no longer sufficient. What we have to do is we actually have to instruct them to tell someone else. It's as simple as grade 10 calculus. It's just all it takes is just going three deep, and we're there. If we can just instruct people to instruct people, then we'll be out of this mess.
On that note, Teresa, could you just give us a quick rundown of something you were running throughout the tour as a whole new concept for us, NHPPA University?
So the idea behind NHPPA University is equipping yourself with the information that you can then take forward and then show someone else to how they can help other people. Sharing, signing up for the newsletter, getting involved, printing up the information, getting locally involved in trying to break through just the regular contacts. But again, it's part of the instructing people to tell other people. That's the key. That's the key. And with the NHPPA University, what we're going to have is we're going to have the opening statements that Shawn gave over the course of the past month. We're going to have all of those printed out, and we're going to have all of the text to that, because there's real important nuggets of understanding that will help people and help get people clear in direction. But for now, we just have to instruct people to tell people.
And if we apply that to this 224 campaign, and also to getting people to watch this health show. So here we're in a hurry on this 224 campaign, where we really do. I mean, the Liberals almost have a majority now. And, couple of Conservative MPs are sick and can't attend, and we don't get into committee, like, unless we convince the Liberals that they don't want to resist this and make sure that every party understands. So, I mean, we need the Bloc Québécois. We need the NDP to support this. Mm-hmm. So it really is all hands on deck. Well, you can send an e-letter every day and fax the letter every day and phone your MP. And when you send the e-letter, our system's going to send it to the Prime Minister and Health Minister and the party leaders also. But really, you could tell somebody else to do it too, and to subscribe to our newsletter so that they're getting plugged in. But if you tell that other person, but you also get somebody else involved, this is only going to work. Mm-hmm. It's not enough for you to just plug in and send the letters. You have to tell somebody else to do it. Mm-hmm. That's how you apply that to this. Yeah. Right? You know, on this, you know, getting the health charter enacted, like, we need people plugged into the NHPPA. We need them subscribed to our newsletter, because that's how we're getting you involved in this 224 campaign. We send out a newsletter. Sure, we'll be inviting you on social media too. But that's how we tell you what's going on. And we only send out usually one a week, unless we've got something cool going on, like the Health Charter Tour. So it's not enough for you to tell your friend, well, you got to subscribe. You got to plug into this group. You have to say, well, you've got to subscribe and plug in, but you've also now got to get somebody else to, and tell them to get somebody else to. It's that simple. And it's not harder to do. Yeah, like, it's not. And NHPPA, I'm sorry, like, we're telling the truth. This is important to everyone. People will want to participate.
Yeah, that's the thing, is people they're not going to resist you. They're not going to resist you. And the one final thing that I really have to share is what was crystal clear to me is that we all have to understand that we're all being put on notice. Everyone who's listening this evening, you're all officially on notice. You have your marching orders. And this is how we get through this mess.
You know, I'm talking to a volunteer today who shared with me a scripture verse, which basically said, you know, you can't sit on your butt. You're responsible if you don't get on. And I said, well, isn't that funny? Because I'd actually printed out for myself to memorize. I pulled it out of my pocket just now. A verse which basically says the same thing. And actually, even the wording, you know, we just talked about how this is life and death and all of that. And the wording, it's meant to communicate, don't let people like perish, you know, without, you know, grabbing salvation before they die. But the wording applies to this tour that we're just on. And it's Proverbs 24, verses 11 and 12. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Isn't that what we just talked about? You know, Karen Peters and the people with rheumatoid arthritis being put on chemotherapy drugs, which is basically certain suffering and death for them. So rescue those who are being taken away from death. And those who are staggering to slaughter, hold them back.
Wow.
If you say, well, we didn't know about this. We didn't know that they're staggering to death. Mm-hmm. Does he who weighs the heart not consider? And does he who watch over your soul not knowing it? And will he not repay a person according to his work? Meaning, we're responsible for not helping those that we see are suffering. That's what it's about. It's just funny that I printed that out today, and then, you know, Judy shared with me a very similar idea. The point is people around us are hurting, and we have a responsibility to help them. It's as simple as that. We have a moral responsibility to help. And I don't know of any better tool than what we've just done. And this Bill 224 campaign, it's a way you can get people involved. This health charter tour, it's a way you can get people involved. I'm fighting to win here. And I actually believe we're going to make this a better country, but only if we each understand we're responsible for helping each other.
Mhm.
You asked how it's changed me. I'd say that's maybe the biggest change. I think heading into this year, I was starting to get very disillusioned. It feels like things are hopeless sometimes, but I'm not hopeless anymore.
It's
We
always
can make this country better. We can do it.
it's always darkest just before the dawn.
Truth. Truth indeed. We have run late because it's such an amazing show. We had 2 months of show to put on for you tonight. So forgive us for going late, but I think it's really been the feelings are there tonight, and I think we really want to get the message going. If anyone does have any questions for Shawn and Teresa, now is the time. I've been asking you all night. Get your questions in there.